All right, so we're going to do something a little bit different tonight. We've not ever done this, but I think it's probably we should maybe start doing it once every quarter, once every 4, 5, 6 weeks, whatever we need. But we don't do Q&As, so we always kind of pick the topics and pick the people that are talking and go, here's what they're going to talk about tonight. We don't know what y'all need, so the best way to figure out what y'all need is for y'all to ask and we can answer. Mike was supposed to be on. Mike's wife tripped over something. They're getting some new floors and some stuff done in their house. She tripped, broke her leg, broke her ankle. So Mike's at the ER with his wife. So prayers to Susan. Hopefully she's doing okay. So I will roll through as best I can without Mike. And y'all can ask anything from what it was like when we started, to getting sued, to starting Family First Life, to having no leads, to having no CRM, to having to lock out counties, to mail drying up, to COVID, to selling your business. Anything y'all want to ask, I'm an open book. If y'all start, I didn't unmute. So if you have a question, type it in the chat and I'll answer them in the order they come in as best I can. Yes, yeah, perfect. So how do I recruit? Is there a link to send the prospect to get credit? Andrew, it's a good, how do you recruit is simple. You just talk to people. Like most folks out there could stand to make an extra $1,000, $2,000 a week. There's no part-time job in the world other than what I do, what we do here, and that I know of. If y'all know of something else there where you can make $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 in a week, part-time working 15 to 20 hours. So what, warm market is a simple, hey, let me know if you keep your options open to making any extra money. Or do you know, Kali does it really good. She's like, do you know anybody that would be interested in maybe making an extra $1,000 to $2,000 a week part-time? Like I'd ask Heath, or I'd ask Diane. I'd go, Diane, do you know anybody? And she'd be like, well, wait a minute, me. Yeah, I do. And so it's a real kind of non-abrasive way of asking someone, but just talking to people, man. I talk to people all day, every day. When I meet people at a restaurant and they're sharp, or, if I'm in a store and someone's just got a good personality and speaks very well, I'm like, dude, is this what you want to do for the rest of your life? No, I got an opportunity for you. Call me up and I give my card. So it's really just a matter of doing it. And I think the biggest mistake in recruiting that agents make is they do it in their spare time. And insurance is a very simple deal, but you have to be very good with your time. So when you're on the phone should be on your schedule. When you take lunch should be on your schedule. Now, is that going to be down to the minute where you leave from? No, if you got someone you're doing an app and you're fit, it is what it is. But also when you recruit should be on your schedule. You should be either sending out Instagram messages, LinkedIn messages, Facebook messages to people that you may know, going, hey, this is the industry I'm in. You ain't going to believe this, but we have people here that are making $200,000 a year part-time. And we do. We have people that are making 7 figures full-time selling life insurance, not building a massive organization, not with 600 people in their downline. We have people that make 7 figures selling life insurance. Shit, I think Dean might make 7 figures this year selling life insurance and annuities. It's mind-boggling. So yes, there's a link. Andrew, I don't know whose team you are on. Oh, there you go. Thank you, Health Financial. You put the link in there. We have a link. It's joinfflnow.com. If you put them in there, it goes into our CRM. It automatically sends them out the pre-licensing information if they're not licensed. If they're licensed, it automatically send them out the HCMS invite once you put in all their information. And then they get dripped on about all the different stuff they need to know as they're getting started. I don't know what link this is, but I'm going to check it just in case so I can see. But recruiting is something that if you don't focus on it, it won't ever happen. So my advice to you is, how do you recruit? You put it in your schedule and do it every single day. This is okay. So this might be there. This is FFLs. You can set this up. And actually, I'm not the tech guy, but I can have somebody come in and go over how you set up your own personal page. Once you recruit them, you have to put them in our system, which is joinfflnow.com. You just put your name in as the upline, whatever team you're on. There's drop-down boxes. It's pretty simple. You put their comp rate in, who they're direct to, yada, yada, yada. All right, where are we at? Let me open this back up because I can't see. All right, let's see. Who got sued? We got sued. 16 days after we left the company, we left to start Family First Life, and it was a 3.5-year deal. And legal bills aren't cheap. I think our legal bill was anywhere from $8,000 to $25,000 a month. And it went on for 3.5 years because the guy we left was such a pompous asshole and he was expecting us to fold. The problem is he picked a fight with the wrong group and we just didn't give up. We wrote a lot of insurance to cover that lawsuit, but we're all good now. What was the huge turning point for you in your business? I mean, there's so many different points, Nick, that I could turn back and look and go, all right, that was a big one. Obviously leaving the company I started in the business with and following Sean when we started Family First Life was a massive one. I think, you can look back at any time in business and typically our biggest growth came after a major issue, like something bad happened. So like when the lawsuit hit, it catapulted us out of the gate. Like December 12, 2013 is when Family First Life was launched. We got served with papers New Year's Eve. So what was like 2.5, 3 weeks, they served us with papers. And Sean's like, just go to work. We had one carrier, no leads. One carrier that only approved 50% of everything was submitted. So, now you'll have like carriers, you can ask a bunch of questions and pre-qualify them. We had one carrier, that was it. So everything we had, we submitted. They only approved half of what we submitted. And so I think how you deal with adversity is will make or break you in this business. But for me, every huge turning point we had in business came after some adversity. Lawsuit was one. Some lead debacles were others. Like we went through so many different crazy things that we tried as a new company. Like at one point in time, there was 9 of us that were like labeled VPs, leaders. And so the 9 of us bought all the leads for our team and then our team paid us. Well, that was a debacle because, every Friday when it was due, they'd be like, hey man, I had a bad week. I'll hit you on Monday. Well, I had just, 15, 20 grand a week coming out of my bank account to cover leads. And so that went on for a little bit. We just kept our head down. I think 2018 or 19, no, I'm sorry, 2000 and I don't even know when he left. Yeah, I think it was 18 or 19. Mike left, Mike File, who does so much for all of us now, left. And I think we, at that point in time, our company was doing $600,000 a month in premium and Mike was about half of that. So we lost half of our company in literally 2 weeks. And that was in October, November. By March, we were at 750,000. So it's like, people are like, how do you get through it? I'm like, well, first I get mad for a minute, like mad where I think at that point in time, I had a baseball bat and I was bashing stuff in my office. I was just mad. And then after, 5-10 minutes of me not being able to breathe because I was fat and out of shape and swinging a baseball bat as hard as I could 150 times, said time to go to work. And we just went to work. So, and then Mike winds up coming back, which is funny because that's usually what happens. People leave Family First Life and they're like, shit, it's definitely not greener here. They come back. But we, and I also looked in the mirror, Nick. Like I looked in the mirror and I was like, what could I have done differently? Because obviously Mike didn't feel like we cared or helped, or I had his best interest, at the front. So what can I do different to not have that happen again? Because we do. Like when I tell you, I crave people's success, like probably more than a lot of people I talk to on a regular basis. Like I want it for them more than they want it for themselves. My issue was how I delivered the message, and it used to be very raw and rude and condescending because that's how I was raised. Like my dad would poke fun at me, like, oh, I'd run in the house because a kid was gonna beat me up, and he would laugh and go, oh, you're a little puss, go outside and or don't come home for dinner, right? That was how I was raised. It was if I was playing a sport and I was having a bad game, he would yell at me and go, just brutal stuff. My dad was brutal. Great. Like, I love my dad to death. Like, don't get it twisted, but he was brutal. So that's how I thought people wanted coaching, and it didn't work. So, that made me change a lot about how I talk to people, how much patience I have. What's another big one? I mean, the change when COVID 2020 was, 2022 when COVID hit, the insurance world exploded. But then in 2022, 2023, what is it, 2025, when the mortgage, rates shot up and the mail dried up. I mean, it was another downside in our industry. Like, things went bad because our company, FFL National, was mortgage heavy. So we didn't know how to do anything else. Mortgage mailers is what we did. 90% of our business was mortgage mailers. And then the other 10% was annuities and final expense. So we had to learn an entirely different way to do business. Telesales, I was face-to-face. Internet, social media leads. How do we get them? How do we coach people on saying they're good leads? Because it really doesn't matter if you give a name and a phone number to someone that believes it's good. They're going to think it's good and they're going to make a sale. So it's all about how you speak and how positive you are with every situation. So for me, I think, Nick, there's so many turning points, but controlling my emotions was a big deal. I am an emotional person, but I wore it on my sleeve to the point where everybody knew. And in a business where it's a relationship business and you're helping to build people, it doesn't work. You've got to be on 24/7. And that's think of one of the biggest lessons I've learned from Sean is pretty much how to be on 24/7. How much did I spend on leads on my first day calling, and how many? Austin, you should do a strategy call with your manager or whoever brought you in. And if you don't have one or you're not sure, you can get on my calendar. I'll do one with you. I can't answer that because there's more that goes into it. I'm not just going to give you a number. A lot of it's going to be dependent on your situation, what your schedule is, how many hours you're working your first week. But if you go to fflnational.com, the agent hub, and then you scroll down to contacts, you can get on my calendar and schedule a call, and I'll do a new agent strategy call with you, and we can go over how much you should spend on your first batch. But hopefully you have some money, because if you can, $1,000, $1,500, $500, it's the more you spend, the better off you are. I have the interest, I can recruit, but how do I effectively get credit for the recruitment, and what to send them to enter their info, and who referred them? I don't know if I understand, like credit, like, so when your name gets read on the board in the beginning, if that's what you're talking about, give me a call or get on my calendar, and I'll make sure you're putting your information in properly. Because when you put it into our system, it says direct upline, and then it says recruited by, you type your name in, and then that's how we come up with that list. But there's probably something that's not right, because Andrew, as big as we are, we probably have more than 12 people on a weekly basis that are recruiting agents. So let's figure out what's wrong so we can get you all the credit you deserve. How do you access previous recorded calls? These get sent out. The SRS calls are on FFL National's page, YouTube channel, and you go under playlist and then look for SRS call. The builders call are on Zach Tradowski's page. So if you go to his, just Facebook search Zach Tradowski, and then you can learn how to spell his name. And then you can search his name on YouTube. He's got a channel. All the builders calls should be on there, or the majority of them. How do you articulate leads, and why we buy leads when recruiting, especially if they haven't come from sales, or if they see that there are other companies in our space who don't have a model based on buying leads? It's a great question, Bryce. And I'd say, like, first of all, yeah, there are other companies that don't do leads, but there are no companies that do any volume that don't do leads. So it's like, we have no competition. FFL will close the year at about $800 million in premium. Our closest competitor does like what my organization does. So our closest competitor will do 50, 60, maybe 80, 90 million. There ain't companies out there that are doing 100 million a year. So when people ask me questions like that, I'm like, well, do you want to work with a company that knows what they're doing and wants you to win, or do you want to just kind of play around with this? And I'm not big on I'm like, you don't have to buy leads. Don't get it twisted. If you don't want to buy leads, that's completely fine with me. But the only way I can tell you how to do it is how all the people that are winning here do it. So if you have another way to do it, like if you want to stand at the mall and ask people that walk by if they want to buy life insurance, or if you want to go door to door and walk around people's neighborhoods and ask them if they want to buy life insurance, feel free to do it. But here's what all the successful people here do. Now, no, you're not going to spend what Steve Giordano spends when you get started. No, you're not even going to spend what Nick spends when you get started, or Jesse. You're going to spend what you can afford to spend. It's what you do with what you get paid that matters. So most people start part-time. There are some that come in full-time, but a lot of folks start part-time. So when I get someone part-time, the deal is, dude, you have a job that covers your expenses, that covers your lifestyle. This is something that you're trying to do to be able to better your lifestyle. So whenever you get paid on this, can we agree to not spend it? It's not money that you should fix your car with, or build a shed with, or buy a new watch with. It's money that you should just reinvest back into leads, because you didn't have it before you got this, and you won't have it if you don't have this. And if you spend it and don't buy new leads, you're not going to have this. You're going to just be stuck with your job. So can we agree to everything you make selling insurance in the beginning, just keep in that insurance bucket? And then when you need to buy leads, you can pull from that bucket. And then eventually you'll have so much in that bucket that, yes, you could be able to spend some of it on other things, but then probably you want to transition out of your full-time job into this full-time. So you're going to need that bucket to stay full, because you got bills and you got things that you need to pay. So everything you make in insurance space in the beginning, Bryce, leave it in the insurance bucket so that you can build a business truly. Because people always ask, like, dude, when did you start making money? Like, I've always made money, but we spent every dime we made on this business, like every dime. I didn't have, like, some of y'all on this call have more money in your bank now than I had 7-8 years into the business. I've been doing this be 16 years in January. It'll be 16 years. 8 years in, I didn't have $50,000 in my bank account, but I had office space. I had 3 or 4 staff. I got leads every single week. We had stuff that we just kept investing in the business. We were building a company. So I didn't look at it as how much can I save. I looked at it as how much can I spend to grow my business, and where do I need to spend it? And a lot of times it's staff, it's office. Now, with people being virtual, I still believe to get agents in, trained, and started and moving, an office is the best way to go. It holds them accountable. You can sit there with them. You see their posture. It's just hard to duplicate that on Zoom. So that's my take on investing. And again, if someone doesn't want to invest, I don't push them. It's not my deal. I just don't work with them. Like, if they go, well, how much are leads? I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm breaking up. I got to go by, because they're not going to win without leads. They're just not. There's no way in the world they know that many people, and nobody, like, there's, out of all the agents FFL's ever recruited, and I think we're probably at this point in time, we have to be close to 500,000 plus of people just recruited. Not saying they're all here, but we talked to, may have came in, tried it, left. There's one that I know of that doesn't buy leads. One out of all those people, and she's wild. Like, so it's not something that's duplicatable. And then she's never going to be able to build a team, because her team's not going to be able to do what she does. The easiest way to duplicate this business is to figure out how to do it as easy as possible and be able to teach people to do exactly what you do. If you do that, it's a wrap. How do you prepare and stay focused daily? For me, it's really, a lot of stuff is choice. I'm not a big, like, rah-rah guy. I wake up every day and I'm thankful for waking up. I'm thankful for having air conditioning because it's hot. I'm thankful when it's cold that I have heat. I'm thankful that I woke up next to my beautiful wife. Like, dude, it's very hard to be grateful and negative at the same time. And then I also just go to work. Like I don't know how to not work. I'm not a big just sit still type of person. So, I think if you're having trouble staying focused, then your goals and your whys aren't big enough. And then I go back to the drawing board and go, what do I want out of this? And people go like, well, what do you want? Like, oh, it's not all monetary. No, it doesn't have to be monetary stuff. I wanted to be able to help my sister, who's a single mom, who's got 3 kids. Her husband left 16, 17 years ago and didn't never look back. 3 kids. She didn't make a lot of money. I wanted to be able to help her. So when they got old enough to drive and she wanted to get them cars, I wanted to be able to help for Christmas. When my nephew got married and the wedding was, I wanted to be able to help with that. Like, and then Jamie's mom is a single mom, and she's 70 plus years old. She wanted to retire. We wanted to help her be able to move to South Carolina. We were to help her do that. I wanted to donate $100,000 plus to the church or charity that I donated to. Like, there's a lot of other stuff other than stuff that I wanted out of becoming financially stable. It wasn't just like houses and cars and why it was important stuff to me. So Corey, I would go back to the drawing board with your why and your goals and figure out what you want out of life. And I give this exercise to a lot of people. Give me 300 things you want, like 300. And it doesn't have to be, again, doesn't have to be monetary stuff, but it can be also, but 300 things that you could do with money if you had a bunch of it, whether it's, helping single moms or abused women or orphans or donating to youth sports, whatever it is. 300, I guarantee it, you struggle to do it, but it'll stretch your mind, and then you can narrow down what really means something to you. Let's see. Can you say why the lawsuit, since people think that was something bad versus anyone can sue anyone for? Yeah, so we got sued because they thought they owned us, and we were independent contractors. And so the challenge is that company was run so poorly. And it's like in fact, I talked to someone that started there a few years back, and then they quit, and they're like, now they want to get back in the business. But they would parade people around like they were the next coming to Jesus Christ. And I'm going like, this is weird. First of all, we're selling life insurance. You're not, like, nobody's that special. Like, I love Dean and how much he does and what he does, but he'll be the first one to tell you he's not special. So the culture was so cult-like there. When people left, they had no choice but to sue them to scare all the weak people into staying, but it just didn't work. Like when Sean and the 9 of us left left that company and started Family First Life, damn near 50% of the company chased us. So they did it as a scare tactic, but they also had no choice, or else it would look really bad, because they had to stop the bleeding. That's how many people were leaving. So when they sued us, they got a temporary restraining order, which meant we couldn't recruit any of their agents, even though we weren't. Like, they were calling us all day, every day, like, hey, where'd you guys go? Here, I want to come with you. How do we do it? So that's why it was. And again, I can sue you for looking at me crooked. It doesn't mean it's right. It doesn't mean I'm going to win. And so that's what that guy did. And at the end, nobody won any money. We all spent a ton of money and wasted a bunch of time. But again, it is what it is, and we're here. How do you overcome the fear of rejection? I think you just got to do it. The more you do it, the more tough, the more you become really numb to it. And again, to me, it was a game, because I understood. I think Eric Schmidt said this on a call a long time ago, but it was one of the greatest things I ever heard. He said, if you can convince yourself that every no is just as important as every yes, then you're not mad when people reject you. Then you're not mad when someone hangs up or tells you no, because I need to hurry up and figure out whether you're a no or you're a yes. If you're a no, that's great. I need to move on to get to one step closer to the next yes. So if you do it that way, then it's really, it's you. And you can also be whoever you want on the phone. Like, Dave, you can be the man on the phone. Like, you can be, who's the greatest salesman in the world? I mean, you could be that guy on the phone. It doesn't really matter. It's just, it's more of doing it and knowing that nothing, what's the worst that can happen? They hang up on you? Like, it can't bother you because this is part of your job. And also I think the value we bring to people is so good. Like, it's almost weird. When people reject me, I almost feel bad for them. I'm like, huh. It's like that really ugly dude that was like the hot girl's asking the ugly guy out, and he's like, no, I don't want to go out with you. Like, you feel bad for that dude because he's just dumb. You know what I mean? Like, you ain't gonna get anything better than that, bro. You should take her up on that offer. That's how I felt. Like, dude, I'm the most important person you're gonna talk to, probably ever. Because if you kick off tomorrow, your wife, your kids are gonna be in trouble. And I used to say this all the time. The biggest reason women get remarried is for money. So I'll be damned if I'm going to sit up in heaven and watch my wife sleep with another dude just to pay the damn mortgage. I'd say that in appointments. I say it on the phone all the time. So if you start to think how much value you have to bring to people, then when they reject you, you just look at them as stupid or you feel bad for them. And that's the best way to go about doing it. What was your personal why? I think I answered that. What's the link to get the replays, the past sales calls? Richard, we send them out in some groups. I'll have to see if Amaka is a good one. Amaka, can you start sharing that in the Discord apps? If you're not in the Discord app in the groups, then you need to get on somebody's calendar and do a restart like you're brand new, because you're missing a whole bunch of stuff. Thank you, Bryce. Thanks. What kind of lead should I buy and how many a day to reach 25, 30 app a month, working up to 10 hours a day? 50 vet leads a week will get you 40, 50 grand a month submitted without a shadow of a doubt. Those are the numbers. What questions to discover new proposal recruit personality? What should I ask to decide if they will be a good business partner? That way you can either proceed with them and weed them out right away. It's a great question, Karina. I like to ask people what's the toughest thing they've ever gone through in life and in business, and let them answer. I mean, and see what they're made of. I also like to ask how many jobs they've had. If they're young, they might have had two or three. But if they're 30s, 35, like, how many jobs you've had? Oh, they start rattling off a bunch. I'm like, well, why did it not work out with any of those? And then if they take any personal responsibility, I'm in. Like, if you go, yeah, I screwed that up, I'm all in. You could have been the worst employee in the world, but if you go, yeah, I really screwed that up, I need to work on that, I'm your guy. But if it's always this guy, my manager, my boss, like, I'm out. That means you have to take zero personal responsibility, and you're never going to make it in this business, because this business will make you look in the mirror a little bit different. Period. End of story. So just have a conversation with them, and if they have a good conversation, they answer questions. If it's not like pulling teeth, then they'll probably have a good shot at winning here. But if they don't, then they're probably not going to make it. But I can tell you, Karina, in 16 years soon to be, sometimes I recruit somebody, I'm like, oh my gosh, they are going to kill it, and they flop. And sometimes I'm like, and then they wind up killing it. So there's like, and everybody that recruits and builds knows exactly what I'm talking about. You don't know until they start doing this, because it's just a different beast. Beyond the template, what schedule are the top sales agents working specifically? I mean, that's pretty, let me see who I got. I got Jesse. I'm staring at Jesse. Jesse, what's your schedule? I'm going to unmute you. I'm not answer that because I'm not selling.
I work 8:30 until 8:30, pretty much 8:30, except if I have an appointment like tonight, I'll be on until 10. On Monday through Thursday. Fridays, I usually stop around 6. Saturdays, I stop around 6, and off on Sundays. So that's the schedule I work.
And that's gonna be pretty standard. Like, the top guys and girls are selling all day. Trim, what's your schedule?
For me, it is first thing in the morning, 5 a.m. workout, 9 a.m. hit the phones, done by 7. That's Monday through Friday. Saturday is from 9 to 5, and then off on Sunday.
I mean, it's pretty much the same thing. And if Corinne gets someone that says, I need to talk to you at 8:30, she's going to talk to them at 8:30 at night.
And we do West Coast Wednesdays where we dial from like 9 to like 11 or 12 o'clock on West Coast.
West Coast Wednesdays. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty dope. Okay. Thank you, Corinne. What is the typical lead conversion on paid leads? Again, Corinne, you want to answer that? Like, I don't know. Oh, did I mute you again? I didn't mute you. Let me see if I can unmute you. H, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. Where are you at? Why can't I find you? Wait a minute. Can I do it like this? KG. I didn't even mute you. There we go. Okay.
All right, there we go. What was the question?
What's the conversion? Like I'm gonna let you answer that, and then I'm gonna give
on old leads.
No, on paid leads. I guess any leads.
Oh, I mean, if we're talking about IOC leads, I'd say for every 50, you should close at least one. Anywhere between 50 to 75. If you're doing a real-time leads, about 20 to 30. On a good day, on a good week, about 5. On a low end, 2 or 3.
Okay. And Bill, your conversion is going to be your conversion. That's what people don't understand. Like Corinne's been doing this for a while. Nick's been doing this for a short period of time. Their conversion is very different. But Nick's is good and so is Corinne's. So what I tell people is, instead of worrying about what your conversion is right now, go on a 90-day run and don't look up until the 90 days is up. And then we can see what that is. And then we can figure out, all right, is it your phone script? Is it your presentation? Is it your close? Or are you not making enough phone calls? You know what I mean? Once we have some good bit of data, we can dive in to see what needs to get better. But as long as you're making sales and putting money in the bank, then I wouldn't care. Like I always say to people, like folks go to school, college for 4 years, they spend 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 grand a year, get out of school in 4 years, $250,000 in debt, and get a job making $65,000, $70,000 a year. But they won't give me 1 year of trying to make a little, not even going deep into debt, like, but maybe not making a bunch of money. Dude, 1 year of this business will teach you so much. And then once you understand it, it just gets so easy that it's really not anything to figure out. It's just plug and play. I know exactly what I need. But that ratio is 50 leads should get you $40,000 to $50,000 in premium if you get 50 leads a week. 50 vet leads a week, 40, 50,000 in premium a month. That's not that hard to figure. How long is the beginning phase before you branch out in spending? Michael, that's different for everybody. I mean, it depends on what your financial situation is. Depends on what you're trying to accomplish. If you're and depends on what you're trying to buy. Like if you go, man, you know, I just had this conversation with Nick. Nick, do you mind if I share? Nick's like, you know, he's getting married, which is congratulations, excited for him for that. But he's like, I drive around in a beat up car. You know, do you think I could buy a new car? I'm like, yeah, but I don't think you should buy a Lamborghini. You know what I mean? Like, so there's conversations to be had, and you know, it's funny. My son he's a trip, but he'll be like, well, I'm a grown man. I don't need nobody to tell me what to do. I'm like, yeah, I'm a grown man too, but I'm rich and I ask Sean everything. Like before I bought Jamie a car for Christmas in 12, I asked Sean, should I buy her a car? Before I bought my office building, Sean, should I do this? Before I bought my beach house, Sean, what do you think about this? Because when someone's looking, it's like, I relate a lot to football, but the offensive coordinator in football sits in a booth because he's looking down on the entire field. He can see the defense, the offense. He can see tendencies. He sees everything. But the quarterback only sees what's right in front of him. And sometimes he doesn't see all that either. He sees what's here, what's here. He doesn't have that full view. So everybody needs somebody that they can go, hey, here's what's going on. What do you think? Someone that you trust, that you know is going to give you good advice or good information, good feedback. But it's different for everybody. It could be 6 months. It could be a year and a half. I mean, we could have branched out and started spending a lot sooner than 8 years, Michael, but we were trying to build something. I wanted to build something that wasn't just getting by type of money. I wanted money. I didn't want to. My daughter's getting married. Like, she's like, Dad, what's the budget? I'm like, there is no budget. Whatever you want, you're going to get. And people are like, that's just weird. Like, no, that's my daughter. That's the stuff. Somebody asked me, like, what was your personal why? That's one of them. When my daughter goes to get married, whatever she wants, she's going to get. Now, is it smart? Probably not. But you know what? We've worked our ass off to be in a position to be able to do that. Any advice on how to get my spouse completely on board with me planning on doing this full time in the future when I get to making good money? She's concerned about commissions and pay. Austin, that's such a good question. The biggest tip I can give you is never complain around her. Ever. Like, if you get a bad batch of leads, they're great. Don't tell her it was a bad day. Don't tell her the bad stuff. Because, dude, there's going to be ups and downs. Okay. There's no doubt about it. But your wife's job is to love you, protect you. But protect you is really what she's trying to do. So when you give her negative feedback about the company, about, at some point in time, Austin, you're going to be mad at the person that recruited you, or somewhere up in that line, they're going to say something to you that really just punches you in the face because that's what they're supposed to. You start talking bad about that person. Now your wife hates that person. Like, so be very careful in how you talk to her and communicate with her, because if you want her to join the business, she's going to have to see it work. So it's your job to get your ass in gear and go to work, and B, that she can trust the people that you're around. So that's such a good question. So many people in this business that have spouses that aren't in the business ruin it because they just talk too much junk about the bad stuff and they leave out the great stuff. Like, this business is so great. Yes, is there some crap that goes along with it? Absolutely. But you can't leave that out. And you have to leave out the negative stuff, because she doesn't understand. She's only getting bits and pieces. But when you're plugged in every day and you're seeing all these success stories and you're seeing people win, like, you're seeing that all day long. But if you give her just that little tiny bit of bad, that's all she's going to know. And then she's going to eventually start to not believe in it. So that would be my advice to you. How do you change your mind from a 9-to-5 business mindset? What are the steps? Just do it. Like, just do it. I don't, it's, what do you want out of this? If you want something bigger than your 9-to-5 is able to give you, then it shouldn't be much to convince. It's like, this is the only way I'm going to do it. For me, I think a lot of that, we didn't have a lot of money in, because that was a way I forced myself to go. Like, we spend money. And like, the people that know me, that's been around, like, I spend it. I am not afraid to spend it, because it just gets me up every day going to work even more, because I have to have it. So I think a lot of times it's just really what you want and getting uncomfortable. A lot of people are afraid to get uncomfortable. She's already in post on Discord. All right, let's see. Great when a person started question interviews. Let's see. She says she's working 9 to 7. How many of those hours is on the phones? Corinne, at 9 to 7, how many hours are on the phone?
All of them.
All of them.
I mean, except if I got to use the bathroom. I mean, sometimes I'm eating while I might take like an hour, but other than that, I'd say I take an hour.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny. People like come to our office, like, do you guys go out for lunch? I'm like, no, dude, I usually get it delivered, or I send out one of our staff to go get my lunch. We sit at the desk, we work. It's just, it's again, when you're striving for something, there's really nothing that will hold you back, and you just will work because you want it so bad. You live, eat, and breathe it. All right, let me see if there's any more questions. We're getting close. challenge that I'm having is maintaining persistency. What advice can you give? Well, I can tell you most people, most agents, once they make that sale, like they're done. They don't contact the client. They don't, it's move on to the next. If you want to fix your persistency, then 6 or 7 touches with a client can help solidify that deal. And 6 or 7 touches doesn't mean 6 or 7 conversations. A touch could be a text. It could be a phone call. But if the more you talk to that client after you've closed the deal, the better chance you have of it staying on the books. So what I would say, Brandon, and if one of y'all top producers is on here that has really good persistency and you want to add to this, please raise your hand and I'll mute you. What I would say to you is once you write the policy and it's approved, call them the next day and go, hey, just want to let you know everything went through good. I know I told you last night you were approved, but it had to get issued. It's been issued. You should expect a policy in the mail in the next 6 to 8 business days. And then I mark on my calendar. In 6 to 8 business days, maybe 9, I'm calling them, hey, Corinne, did you get the policy in the mail? Yes. All right, perfect. Are there any questions that you have? No, not at the moment. All right, read through that contract and let me know if you have any questions. And then another 3 or 4 days, I'm calling them, hey, Corinne, I know you didn't have any questions when I talked to you. I just want to make sure you got a chance to look at your contract. Do you have any questions for me? No, great, perfect. Like that's simple stuff everybody can do, but we don't do it because it's just time. And if you do that stuff, you will maintain a lot of your clients because then it becomes more personal and you care about them. And then you can just call them and go, hey, Corinne, just thinking about you. Hey, I did want to let you know, I don't think I told you this. We do have a retirement protection division. So I know you're not close to retirement, but if something comes up, we handle 401k rollovers. We make sure people never lose a dime of their money, no matter what's going on with the market. Make sense? And then I'm off. Like quick stuff like that makes all the difference in the world. All right, Dean. Dean, you know what? I am going to unmute you because you do have really good persistency. Where are you at? Dean. I just saw him. Oh, wait a minute. I got to scroll down more. There we go.
Okay,
Dean,
can you hear me?
I can.
Okay, sorry about that. I was trying to unmute, then when you unmuted me, I muted again. So here's the funny thing. I don't do anything. Even in virtual, I don't bother them because it's going to give them a reason to call and cancel. I don't remind them. If they have a question, they got my number. But one thing I do send, Frank, I have a sheet where I put a policy summary and explains, I am your life insurance policy. My job is to protect your family when you die, blah, blah, blah. It has my picture on it, has my email, my signature, my cell phone, and then their policy details and everything. And then I also leave what's called a beneficiary death claim instruction sheet with 5 easy steps. Has all the same contact information so they can give it to their beneficiaries. I don't bother them because the moment I call them, they're like, oh yeah, when's that payment going to come out? Oh, and the next thing you know, they call the carrier and cancel it because I don't want chargebacks. So I don't follow up with them. Not at all, unless it's an annuity. The only thing I will touch base on is an annuity business because I just help them allocate a ton of money over to one of our accounts. But other than that, that's just me. You can do whatever you want, but it's worked for me really well the last 8 years almost. I don't mess with it.
So here's what I would say, Brandon, if you doing what I do and you're reaching out and your persistency is not good, then do what Dean tells you. If you're doing what Dean's saying, you're not reaching out, then try to do what I'm telling you, because that's what we did. And again, it worked for me. Just like what Dean's doing works for him. But that sheet he sends out with the breakdown of that's a good idea. I would definitely do that.
I can get Jamie over a blank copy of it so it can be uploaded in the system and everybody can use it. And you just put whatever logo. It's phenomenal. It really solidifies the deal, and it also allows them to give a copy to their beneficiary as well.
Perfect. Thank you, Dean. Is this the recruitment form? No, that's your personal website. That's a recruiting video. The recruiting form is just a website. If you go to joinfflnow.com, you can see what the recruiting form looks like. It's not much to it. It's just some basic, simple questions. You put them in, and you answer a few simple questions. You put them in the system. They're in the system now. They're getting dripped on, and they're getting text for the calls. They're getting reminders about the new agent orientation. the FFL Sales Academy, all that stuff that we have, all the resources we have go in there. So, all right. So it's 7:01. That was good. It went right to 7 o'clock. You guys, good job asking questions. Thank you. A lot of times on the SRS call, we do Q&A. It's like awkward silence for like 3 minutes. And I'm like, this is weird. And then I go, all right, so we're going to end the call now. Nobody's got any questions. And then questions start popping in. So thank you all for firing away right from the get-go. I appreciate y'all. I really do. Corinne, Jesse, Dean, thanks for chiming in. I appreciate that as well. Hopefully I will see all of y'all at Ignite. Obviously, we'll be on these calls every week. Thursday, SRS call Thursday. Sean Ruggiero is going to be on going over, I think some stuff with farmers. I'm not sure. But anyway, Sean is the guy that taught most of FFL top annuity producers how to sell annuities. So if you're not selling annuities, trust me, it's something you want to add to your portfolio. And back to that persistency question, when you write a life policy and then also write an annuity, that's not canceling. Like the persistency on those, when you write a life app and an annuity, is like 99.89%. So Dean's persistency, a lot of the reason his persistency is so high is because he's constantly doing the golden question. He's running a lot of illustrations. Even if he's not writing the annuity, he goes over their retirement stuff with them. Now they're looking at him as a professional, other than some schmuck sales guy that just called him on the phone. Like, no disrespect to any of us, we're all schmuck salespeople, no big deal. But if you're talking to him about a little bit more than that, then you have, again, more value you bring to people, the better off you are. And I think that speaks volume as to why Dean's persistency is so high, because he's valuable when it comes to life insurance. He's super valuable when it comes to annuities. And so learn to sell those, and you will get a lot of deposits in your account, and your persistency will go up just because you sell annuities along with life insurance. Where do you get a training for annuities and IULs? If you go to FFL National, search FFL National or FFL National on YouTube, there's a playlist, go under playlists. There's SRS videos, simple retirement solutions. There's annuity training in there. And then if you'll see another playlist tab that says Annuity 101. You can go in there and learn the basics of annuities, but every Thursday we do a call training on either IULs or annuities. This week it's going to be annuities. Last week it was annuities too. We're doing 2 annuity weeks in a row. So hop on and use the resources that we have. We also have a huge team of people, not huge, we have a team of people that will help you sell annuities if you find them and you don't know what you're doing. Dean's one of them that's on the SRS team. If you find someone that has some money and you want to watch someone do it, and you can just learn and get 50% of the commission by watching, Dean will help you do that as well. And you do a couple, 2, 3 annuities, it's a wrap. You can do them on your own from there on out. So guys, thank you so much for hopping on and spending the night with me. I appreciate y'all. Have a great night and a great rest of your week.